Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and I'm going to take you for a walk today through our gardens here at the Garden Center. For those of you who are new to our station, Garden Crossings is a mail order company that ships all over the United States. For those of you who are local to us in Zeeland, Michigan, we do have a walk-in retail garden center that is a proven winner's destination. Let's go and take a walk through the gardens. Starting off the tour is the Supertunia Vista Jazberry. These are just doing amazing this year. It's June, the beginning of June right now, and we have them paired with the lemon coral sedum, and they are just putting on a fabulous color show. One thing we've noticed is that we're just really impressed with how the colors are looking so great with the new front of the garden center. The white that we chose just really is an excellent backdrop for all the beautiful colors of the flowers that we have planted. I'm going to feature some of the perennials that are in this bed. If you are also curious about the annuals, please check out our new plants for 2023 video, where I'm going to go into depth talking about every single annual that's in this bed. But for this video, we're going to look more at the perennials. So starting off here, the red and white that you're seeing, that is red and white Columbine. Columbine is an earlier bloomer in the garden. This is also one of those plants that if you let it go to seed, it's going to potentially spread throughout the garden. So that may be good or that may be bad, depending on how you look at it. If you don't want it to spread throughout the garden, I do recommend trimming off the seed heads once they start to dry. Another perennial that's in bloom right now is the Lupine Mini Gallery Red. I just love lupins for their spring blooming. And I think too, they have really unique foliage that kind of looks like a flower even when it's not in flower. And then of course you can't go wrong with those beautiful red spikes of flowers. Lupins come in a lot of different colors, purples, yellows, blue shades. So there's a lot of different colors in lupin if that's a flower that you kind of like the looks of. We will stop and talk about the aquapot because it is looking fabulous right now. We have the Salvia Rockin' Purple, Salvia Rockin' Fuchsia, and then there's Wedgwood Blue Angeloni in there, along with some of the beautiful Medusa Sweet Potato Vine, and then the Tropical Sunset Super Bells. So that is doing just fabulous in that aqua pot. Next, just starting to wake up to bloom, is the Flax Opening Act Blush. And you can see there's some little light pink flowers there, but there's a ton of buds that are just waiting to explode into color. Behind it is the Bartzilla Peony. This is an intersectional peony, which is a cross between a garden peony and a tree peony. The flowers are absolutely huge. Beautiful yellow blooms there that just nearly cover this full plant. It always screams summer when Bartzilla starts to bloom. Along the front of the driveway here, we have some of the Paint the Town Fuchsia Dianthus starting to bloom. That's a great ground cover type of a perennial. Once they're done flowering, we'll go ahead and give it a light trim, and then they should reflush for us with another round of color. Another aqua pot looking superior here with this beautiful palm tree in the center. We've got the Wicked Witch Coleus, some of the jet black sweet potato vine, coral sunset super bells, and then some Lasmachia just to kind of give that nice chartreuse color, and then a little bit of Diamond Mountain in there just to add a splash of white. The Hydrangea Invincible Wee White is just in bud, so that should be blooming, I'm guessing, probably in our next tour. Behind it is the Heaven Sent Jacob's Ladder, and that's just finished flowering for the season. That was one of the first flowers that were blooming in this garden. A new plant for 2023 is the Upscale Red Velvet Monarda, and this is really a deep, rich red color flower. This is a great plant for full sun that attracts pollinators, hummingbirds, and butterflies to the garden. So really a beautiful, rich red. This is kind of a butterfly-focused garden, so to have butterflies in the garden, you want to make for sure you have some Asclepias or milkweed. So here we have Asclepias tuberosa, and it's in bud, and that will be blooming orange once it starts to bloom. More Dianthus here, Paint the Town Fancy, looking pretty nice. We've got some Allium Millennium tucked in, and that is looking pretty like grass-like right now, but there are just a little bit of the flower heads starting to show. Those won't be blooming until July, but they are starting to just show a little bit of where the blooms are going to come from. I missed the peony that bloomed for a hot second last week, and I missed it. Some more of the opening act blush phlox. In the back there we have some of the early bird blue and white Columbine. Up against the fence, this is a new perennial for 2023. It's meant to be Queen Nectarine Agastache. So that's a great plant for the pollinators and hummingbirds. That's going to get pretty tall, I believe about 3 foot tall once it's full grown. We'll have some Clematis blooming soon. I'm seeing lots of buds. I think this is going to be Diamond Ball. The Atlas Rose is blooming. Beautiful peach colors. That's just starting. Lots of buds waiting to open. Another beautiful red Lupine. And then some pink Dawn Salvia. And I can see honeybees on the Salvia right now. So it's a great pollinator plant. We'll go ahead and take the corner and see what's on the other side of the fence. Not a ton going on this side of the fence, but some of the things we're seeing, the red are the Sun Patience Red. We have some of the new perennials planted up in this area. Rock and Low, Bright Ideas Sedum, not blooming quite yet. Some of the new Agastache meant to be Royal Raspberry. We got to trim that and let that flush back out again. Just planted was Heliopsis Bit of Honey. You can see the beautiful variegated foliage there with the green and the yellow. Very small yet. Tucked in the back is the Luminary Sunset Coral Flax. Let's go in and take a look. That's really a beautiful color flax. So that's a tall flax. Continuing on, we've got a few of the new annuals for 2023. The Lantana there, and then the Surefire White begonias. Looks like something's been eating at these though. We must have rabbits out here or something. A new Lantana. We put some of the new upscale sweet potato vines out here. So we'll see what they do kind of in a landscape setting. Some more of the Bit of Honey Heliopsis. Another grouping of the Sunset Coral Flax. That looks really great up against that white fence. A grouping here of new Heuchera. Let's see, what are these called? This one here is Frosted Berry. Looks like they're all Frosted Berry. Really shiny foliage. All right, so that's what we've got in this bed. Let's head over to the new bed and see what's going on out there. So right now this new bed is getting injected with fertilizer. That's what this little thing sitting out in the landscape is a fertilizer injector. Since it's really nearly impossible for us to come out here and fertilize these beds by hand, this is the easiest and fastest way for us to do it. So basically it's a little barrel with a pump on it, and the pump pumps fertilizer through the hose, and then as the hose is sprinkling out here, it's sprinkling fertilizer throughout this entire garden bed. Got some penstemon here. Midnight Masquerade is a dark foliage. Up front we have Drops of Jupiter. That's the oregano. Got a little bit of fescue grass here, Blue Whiskers. In the back there's a planting of the unplugged pink salvia, along with some of the new upscale sweet potato vine. We'll see how that does. I'm thinking the goal is for it just to kind of mingle on the ground in this garden. We have some sun patiens. This is the hot pink sun patient that's lining the back side of the bed in this area. A few of the new Supertunias, Supertunia Mini Vista Scarlet and the Supertunia Persimmon. In the back there, the red is the red sun patiens. This garden was just built last fall, so a lot of the things in here are very immature yet, but you've got to start someplace. More of the sun patiens. Looks like they poked a couple of the verbena meteor showers. Those are for butterflies. We created trellises out of re-rod. So we have 3 clematis planted on each of those trellises. I like to mix them as we're planting. That way if something's not blooming, maybe something else will be. As we take the corner here, we've got the red and the white sun patiens alternated. Got some Argyratum blue. Boom Chocolata geranium, just starting to bloom. Oh, this Kodiak Fresh looks amazing. So this is a new shrub for this year, 2022, and this is the first time I've seen it like in its beautiful color, I guess. There's shades of yellow and chartreuse deep down in there, but on the edge, it is like really a beautiful orange color. So that is gorgeous. That's Durvilla Kodiak Fresh. The next one we have here is another Durvilla. This is Kodiak Red, and you can see the red foliage there. And this is Durvilla Kodiak Orange with its beautiful orange foliage. So kind of nice to see the 3 of them side by side to get kind of the idea of how do they differ. Let's see if we can get them all in one shot. All right, making our way through the bed. There's some more Aesculapius tuberosa, again, for the butterflies. The yellow you're seeing here, this is Sambucus lemony lace. This is an elderberry. It's in full sun, which might be a little bit pushing the limit. This plant might do better in a part shade location, but I love how this bright yellow chartreuse just stands up against the dark mulch that we've used. Little grouping here of some Heuchera. This is the Dressed Up Evening Gown series. The Evening Gown series features ruffled foliage, and this one here is kind of a purpley color. Making our way is some Rockstar Sedum that kind of blends in there, but that will look pretty once it's blooming in the fall with its bright magenta flowers. This little patch putting on a show. This is the Dicentra Pink Diamonds Bleeding Heart, and this is a bleeding heart for full sun locations, and this plant is gorgeous. It just seems so unbelievable that bleeding heart can look so great in full sun. So on the corner of this bed, we have Supertunia Black Cherry, paired next to some Salvia. This is part of the Profusion series on the end. The purple is Ruby Riot, or not Ruby, Violet Riot, and Pink Profusion. Those are looking nice. This area is a work in progress. We're going to put a retaining wall here. Making our way through. The next thing that's grabbing color is the Candy Corn Spirea with the bright yellow foliage. And then the mini Vista Indigo petunias are really putting on a gorgeous show in this garden. Take a walk to the end. I see one other thing blooming, and I think it's going to be a Deutzia. It is. At the end here, we have Deutzia Cherry Blossom. And that's a nice low-growing, mounding form of shrub. All right, let's take a look here now at the 55-mile-an-hour bed. So this is what we call the 65 or 55 or whatever I call it that day, mile-an-hour garden. And that's because these cars are just flying past on our street here. So we really wanted to create something that has a lot of impact, and I think we nailed it. So on the back side of the fence here, we have the sun-credible sunflowers that just line the whole way. On either end, we have some of the Pennisetum vertigo grass, just to add a little contrast and motion. And then on the front side of the fence, we planted a mass planting of the Vista bubblegum Supertunia, along with the Vista Paradise, and then we lined the very front with a sedum lemon coral. So this just really stands out amazing as you're driving past. This color is definitely, if this doesn't stop you and make your head turn, I don't know what else I could do to make that happen. So this is just a gorgeous little place here in the garden that is just a wonderful mass of color. This is what we call our waterfall bed, and we're on the back side of it right now. And we have the Sun Patience red and white along with the Albrido Coleus, and then we have some salvia planted in here as well. But some of the things that are blooming in the perennial world are the Baptisia. So we have the yellow lemon meringue Baptisia that's starting to bloom. And then we have the blue blueberry sundae. And then the pink one here is pink truffles. So they're probably about somewhere between just starting and about halfway through their bloom cycle. This here is a tough stuff hydrangea. That will be blooming later on in the season. The tall columnar shrubs that you're seeing, because I always get asked, those are the fine line rhamnus. The white here is Euphorbia Diamond Snow. And that just packs a beautiful pop of wispy white. Some dark chocolate Baptisia in the back there behind that white Cleome. Some more salvia and Sun Patience. Beautiful purple. The pink is the Weigela. This is a Sonic Bloom Pink Weigela. This is a rebloomer. So this will bloom up to 3 times throughout the summer. And every time it blooms, it's just as gorgeous as the first time. With these beautiful trumpet-shaped flowers, tubular-shaped flowers that the pollinators just really enjoy. Another Albrido Coleus tucked in there. There's so many honeybees out today, which is a great thing to see. And some giant bumblebees. Making our way as we're heading towards the front of the waterfall. We kind of stepped up the game a little bit with the Coleus and really stepped up the game with the Sun Patience. Sun Patience red and white this year. Normally this is a pink or purple toned garden bed, but we wanted to try something different, and I think that this white is looking great. The chartreuse you're seeing, those are Spirea. Some more of that diamond snow euphorbia. That looks so nice, those nice mounding habits. More Spirea. And this has to be one of my favorite views of all. Just looking over the waterfall, through the arbor there, and then with the greenhouse in the background. This area is featuring red and white Sun Patience, diamond snow euphorbia, rockin' unplugged salvia, salvia rockin' fuchsia, Albrido Coleus, Cleome, white Cleome, and then in the back there, the sun-credible sunflowers. As we make our way around, we have some Nepeta there. That's the Cat's Meow Nepeta, the purple. And that's a beautiful perennial. Clematis President is blooming. And then we've lined this with more Sun Patience, some rubrum grass, That might even be the fireworks grass. Behind it is the Going Bananas daylilies. And then behind the daylilies, we have the blue chip butterfly bush. So that will look pretty during the summer as it starts to bloom. Next stop is the sign garden. As we approach the sign garden, I think what we have on our sign couldn't be a truer statement. And this is where, if you are looking to create yourself a backyard or garden oasis, you can go to our website at gardencrossings.com and order all your favorite Proven Winners plants. In this garden here by our sign, we have the blush sun patience along with the lemon coral sedum, and then we created little pockets here for the berry blend lantana. So last year we did kind of a similar-ish look. We used different color sun patience and we used purple lantana, and one thing we found was with the grape lantana, it didn't do great until the end of the summer, so we wanted to use a bulkier, fuller lantana this year, and that's where we used the berry blend. And actually, it's not berry blend, this is Royal Cosmo. We went big. So Royal Cosmo is what we have here in this garden. But I think this is going to look really nice as it fills out. Maybe take note of the spacing, how far we space these sun patience apart, because as we continue to do these videos throughout the summer, you'll notice how well they fill in this space with being planted about 18 inches apart. So this is going to look just fabulous as the summer goes on. This is our south side garden berm, and in this area this was created with butterfly purposes in mind. So a lot of the plants in this berm are butterfly or pollinator plants. Some of the splashes of color that you're seeing right now are right up front here, the Vista Paradise Supertunia along with Vista Bubblegum, and then we've got some perennials blooming. This is gorgeous creeping thyme. It's the first time I've ever seen that actually look so great. As we make our way around, the yellowish chartreuse you're seeing is candy corn spirea. We bordered this full bed in Supertunias this year. So just various different colors. The back side here we have the Supertunia Jazberry. Tucked up there on the berm is the Sun Patience Red. We have a lot of Asclepias planted in this garden as well, because we wanted to make for sure that we had places for the butterflies, monarchs specifically, to lay their eggs and for the caterpillars to eat. Let's go up here. There's a few poppies blooming. Getting kind of wind whipped. This one here is Beauty of Livermore. This here is an annual Asclepias. Got some Monarda blooming. I believe this is, pardon my lavender. Tucked down here is Bordeaux Supertunia. We did plant some parsley and dill out here for black swallowtails if they happen to come visit, which I'm hoping they do. Some more poppies. Here's our hibiscus. This is actually, I think this is Holy Grail with that dark foliage. Looks like we got something wanted to create a little nest here, so we'll have to watch that and make sure that doesn't happen. These fun little plants here, these are Fuchsia Fireworks, or Fuchsia Firecracker. I use these in my pots at home. Down at the end of the garden walk here, we have some of the Meteor Showers verbena, which is great for the butterflies. Some of the unplugged salvia. And one thing I wanted to point out is when we were on the beginning of this little section is another thing that I thought at first was petunias until I got close, and it's actually Dianthus. All this beautiful red you're seeing, or magenta, that is all Dianthus along here, and it is doing gorgeous. Let's go up and take a look here at a closer look at it. This is the Paint the Town Red, and just look at that vibrant coloration. Looks great with this lemon coral sedum. What a beautiful, beautiful splash of color to this garden. So I hope you enjoyed the walk through the gardens here at Garden Crossings. It's been fun kind of walking through and really focusing in on all the different plants that we have. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And as always, if there's anything that you've seen in this video that you're interested in, you can buy it online at gardencrossings.com. Thank you for walking through the garden with me today. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.